Alright, what's going on, guys? It's me, Luke Wakefield. I'm posting this on my YouTube. Of course, if you're watching this, you probably know that. I wanted to post more on start posting more on my YouTube, so, I'm gonna draw a little bit, because I like doing that. I got my pens, okay? Don't judge. I get bored sometimes and I chew on things, okay? I know it's gross. I know it looks gross, but it still works. I've got some pencils. I should have really gotten a pen. I think I've got a pen somewhere around here. I'm in the garage. Let's see if I can find myself with just a little ballpoint pen or something. I don't know. Oh. Highlighters, a highlighter. Gel pens. Sister used to be really into like gel pens. Back in the day when they were all, when everybody was like, all the little girls at the school were like, oh my gosh, we need glittery gel pens. She was one of those. This used to be one of my favorite pencil sharpener. I don't know if you guys can. There we go, yeah. Little piggy. I might be using this guy instead of that. Looks like he used to be silver. He used to have like little dot eyes. You open it up, you feed him it. I don't know how old those are. Those are probably like 6 or 7 years old. Like, actually probably 6 or 7 years old. I was thinking that in my head and I was like, oh, that's funny. Anyways, so let me just flip to a blank page. It's not that far in. I'm assuming I only got this for Christmas, and it's January. Although, it is January, but it's been really nice here. Warn everybody that, the lights will be going on and off. This light is on a sensor, but it doesn't have motion, or it's on a timer, but it doesn't have a motion sensor. So it really is not the best. And this tripod is like a baby, like a newborn giraffe, how like wobbly it is. I think it's really meant for a phone, but I don't know. I wish I had better lighting. I've made one of these videos before, and I wish I had better lighting, but I don't. So, anyways, let's get started. I want to make something a little goofy and funny. Oops. But I don't know what I want to draw. So I could make a buffalo, do that. Whoops. Is that still in frame? Kind of. A little bit. What if I did this? Hold on, let me like reorient the camera. Hold on. Okay. I will either edit these two videos together or just post this one. So if this is the beginning of the video, what's going on, guys? If this is not the beginning of the video, I was just moving my camera so you guys get a better angle of this. I need like a better tripod or something for this. If I'm gonna do this more, which I'm kind of wanting to, but I was gonna draw buffalo with my Ticonderoga. Just saying. But this is gonna be like buffalo from memory. But it's like I'm doing this class at the college, and I made a buffalo out of clay, so it's still kind of in my memory, you know. So right now I'm just kind of drawing like maybe what the skeleton looks like, you know. I mean, not exactly. I think with a bison skeleton, it's like here's what the spine would be, a rib cage, and then like the back of the spine is like huge. These long like things attached to the vertebrae, and then the ribs would attach to that. Anyways, but you know, and then a buffalo's head. It's kind of like this. He's kind of built like my dog, or I guess my dog is kind of built like a buffalo, where he's kind of like, he's got a big rib cage, you know. But you know, buffalo's kind of got like any, you know, grazing animal, they kind of got a big gut, kind of belly thing. So we kind of need that. You know, and we got kind of fluffy arms. Gets me every time. Oh, there we go. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. And then like a little hoof. Although I went to Yellowstone. When I was in Yellowstone, you look at their hooves, it's freaking huge, like a dinner plate, you know. And they're so round. They're almost like this, you know. And they come in like this, I think. You know, if I remember. And they look like this. This is like exactly what they look like, is the hoof print. You know, because they got that, you know, cloven hoof or whatever it's called, where it's double hooved up on a Tuesday afternoon. But yeah, here's our buffalo's elbow. Give him some hair, I guess. I need to work on the head. I think the head's sticking out a little bit too far. Buffaloes don't got that long of a neck. They're not like cows. Cows, you know, they'll have a long neck like that. But I think a buffalo, they'll have a long neck like that, but a male buffalo has so much hair, you know, it kind of hides it. So the skull would almost be in like this, kind of this shape maybe. You know, that's if you can imagine what the bison skull would look like. But then with the hair, you know, they kind of, I guess the eye socket, we kind of want the eye here, and the horns here, and the ears maybe here, or maybe down a little bit more. Let me look at a picture real quick. Let's get a picture of a buffalo skull. Buffalo skull. Yeah. Let's try and get a good side profile. This isn't a... Actually, I'm drawing a bison. I should look up bison skull. Bison skull. That's better. Now let's see if I can get a good side. This might be the best I can get. So if I'm not mistaken, this is not a buffalo skull. No, maybe it is. So here's the eye socket, here's the ear, and then here's the antler, or the horn here. So we've kind of got the skull coming down here, you know, the jaw, bottom jaw. And then eye socket here, horn here, and then here I think is where the ear would come in. Let's see if we can get a side profile. That's not what I want. I want that. Yeah. I think that's where the ear goes. I should really... I don't know. I don't want to take an anatomy class, but... Because anatomy classes are so boring. Oh my god. But, okay. So here's his muzzle. Here's muzzle. You see, and now here's his skull, but I'm filling in the, you know, the big old pompadour these guys got, and they're pretty fluffy here on the front half. And most of them, it's got like a beard here, and I'm making a clay buffalo in class. I'm not gonna be able to show it because I don't have any good pictures. I might take a screenshot. I made a little video of it, so I might take just a screenshot from that. But anyways, so you can kind of see I tried to make the front half a little bit more fluffier. I think I want to move the eyes forward just a little bit. Right, yeah. So let's draw a little eyeball for this guy. Yeah, we'll just do that. And then his horn. And his ear, they kind of got little ears. His face might be a little too low, but I don't really care. You know. And these cows kind of got big noses. But then, anyways, but you get to the back half of a bison. You know, and they're, you know, you look at a picture of a bison, they got huge shoulders, but they kind of blend into the hunch. So, you know, you can kind of like put some small little lines to kind of indicate that, you know. But I kind of liked the shape of the stomach I had, but I just wanted to clean it up a little bit, you know. And with bison, now these like animal legs are kind of hard to draw, because they kind of have, you know, where a human leg is like, you know, butt cheek there, you know, thigh, knee, calf, foot, you know. Yeah, that's just a little. Animals, they, you know, we walk on this whole thing. Animals only walk on like the toe. So that's just things you like. If you look at a skeleton, like you look at animal skeletons compared to human skeletons, that's just easy to notice. You know, that's a tip of mine, I guess. You look at their skeletons. So, like, you know, animals walk on their toes. So a bison hoof almost looks like this, you know, and it gets thicker, and they kind of got like a little curve here where the thigh is. Whoops, okay. And they got something like that going on, maybe. So let's try and draw that. So he's kind of got the, and then bison, let me make sure I don't think their back is that arched. I'm gonna look up a picture of a bison. Yeah. So, you know, a lot of these pictures, they don't. Yeah, it's good to have a reference picture, because then you'll end up drawing something that really looks good, but this isn't really the most accurate. So, which is fine, I guess. If you don't want to be the most accurate in the world, but I like to be somewhat accurate. And then I've noticed kind of their butt here, I guess the end of their pelvis kind of is this weird, like really angular kind of shape to it. But then besides that, you know, they kind of got the regular cow tush, you know, and we'll put the knee here. So this is where I guess the knee of our buffalo will be. Yeah, and you can kind of see on this one. Let's see, that would be the knee there. And then there's the ankle. There's the Achilles tendon. So you can see on your foot, if you've got feet, you can do this. I don't know if you guys can. If I didn't have my socks pants tucked in. But like right there is right here on the human body. So I guess you can't see. I got fat ankles, but you know, that's where the Achilles tendon goes. So I don't know. That just puts into perspective how the animal leg is, how animals' legs are. So, let me see what percentage I'm at. I might have to plug this bad boy in. Actually, let me take this back out and see how thick the calf is. It's really not that thick. We can almost kind of just the calf, and so here's the knee, and the calf isn't really that long, and that kind of just goes into the ankle. Right, like this. And here's where the tendon would be. You know, and they kind of got that kind of thing going on. And you don't want to make the ankles look too thick. So I mean, like, animal ankles are kind of small anyways, but they you know, buffaloes are huge. So yeah, so it's like here it was like long fur, so we can kind of indicate that with some lines, I guess. I had a better desk for drawing in my room. Gotta do it on tote lids down here. Make this look a little bigger. And then, you know, for anatomy's sake, you know, he needs to bear offspring. That's the only reason why males exist genetically. But, you know, if bugs are any example, you know, they don't really need males. Bugs, that is. Mammals do if they want to reproduce, but bugs don't. I mean, I guess they need males if they want genetic diversity, but they don't necessarily need males to, because the females, I think males are the male, you know, like an ant. Let me draw an ant here. Let me actually flip. So, anyways, I'll do that here in a sec. I'll talk about bugs here in a sec, I guess. But here's my buffalo. So they kind of got this weird short tail. You kind of hear. But you know, here he is. He lives in Yellowstone National Park, Wyoming. Here's a geyser. That's a geyser. You know, he's standing next to a geyser. Here he is, our buffalo, you know. Anyways, here's our hoof print. We'll erase the vertebrae. I'll leave this one. This one actually kind of looks nice. But maybe I'll draw a skull real quick. You know, I think it was something like this, you know. Right here, and then yeah. Oh my God, I'm doing it, Mom. This kind of looks goofy. But I don't know. They kind of got big fat noggins on the very top. So, looks nice. Actually, you know what? Let me ink it. You know, this is the problem with this book I have. I don't think it's very ink proof, so I'll do this so it doesn't leak through and destroy the rest of the book. I mean, he might be, our buffalo might be a little woolly. Now I think about it. He might be a little too woolly. But, you know, maybe he's not. Maybe he's a beefalo. Maybe he doesn't live in Yellowstone. I don't know if I mentioned this, but my lights are going to be going on and off throughout the video. I did mention this, didn't I? Oh well. I kind of made his eyes a little bigger so it doesn't leak into one big mass. And then we'll do that, and we'll do that, and we'll do that. Oh, he's kind of. And when you're, you know, inking your drawings, you can always kind of change the shape as you go. If you don't really necessarily like it. But it's always good to kind of stick to the original shape, you know. You know, like this tail, you know, I just redid it just because. But, you know, now that I think about it, I think the back half of a buffalo is actually darker than the front half. 'Cause, I don't know. It's kind of like a lightish brown on the top, I guess. I don't know. With like, you look at the hooves, they kind of got this like notch here. I think it's like, because, you know, like a horse walks on its middle toe. I think rest of the, you know, like a buffalo walks on the two fingers. I think the little nubbin on the back, if you look at it, there's like two little nubbins on the back. I think that's like these two fingers, and then like the thumbs, I don't even think they got a thumb. But, you know, we'll do that because it's sticking out, I guess. I've never really done shading before. You know, it's something I should figure out how to do better. You know, but I don't know. Guys, comment if I should learn how to shade better. It should always be yes. Let me shade his manhood. I guess we could ink everything else too, the hoof print. You know. And like this is where the front would be, so it's like when it's walking this way. So I didn't, you know, it took me, when I was younger, I always used to think they were walking this way. Because it's like, oh, they walk like this, you know. They just really walk like this. Sometimes they split like if it's uneven, but I don't know. Let me see how much battery I have. 3%. Okay. I'm going to finish inking this and then I should plug my camera in. But, you know, we got our geyser. Our skull. Okay. Sorry, my camera died. Okay, so I finished the drawing. Actually, I didn't finish the drawing, but I don't think this might be the end of the video. So, ooh, I'm really messing up this hoof here. Maybe I can. I'm like half paying attention to it. But anyways, this is probably going to be the end of the video then. Look at that. So, I don't know. Thanks for watching. It's probably not a long video, but my camera died, so I would have drawn more, but I can't. So, if you like this, I guess subscribe or don't. I don't really care. And yeah, a little buffalo, you know, nice. Camera's dead, my GoPro, so hopefully the video's saved. I don't really want to redo all this. I'm not going to redraw the same thing if I have to. Anyways, so see ya.